What I'm going to do today is demonstrate how to use the Power Scrub Elite for shampooing carpets and mopping tiles on kitchen and bathroom floors. What this machine is real similar to a vacuum, but it actually shampoos the floor and rinses it, and then it vacuums all of the dirt and water up into the machine, and it dries it too. So first we'll do a rundown of all the basic parts. It has a tank that you fill up with water, and it has a compartment near the top of that tank that you fill up with the shampoo solution. Then down below it's got a tank that you vacuum all of the dirty shampoo and water that you use to rinse the carpet or floor afterwards. The more times you do it, the cleaner it's going to get. It also comes with a smaller attachment to a hose that you plug into the bottom piece, and that's for doing smaller areas to fit into that are harder to reach, or I use it on the stairs. As far as all the knobs and switches, it's got a dial that just has two settings, which is wash and rinse. Then down below, it's got another knob with two settings for a quick clean and deep clean. So on the back of the machine, you got a kickstart pedal, which is basically the on and off switch. Then another pedal that says handle release. On the handle, it's got a trigger that you squeeze. So when you adjust the settings to wash it, what the trigger does is it sprays out the shampoo onto the surface, and when you adjust it to rinse, it just sprays out water. When you release the trigger, it just acts as a vacuum and sort of a blow dryer at the same time. When you purchase the machine, it comes with a small bottle of carpet cleaning solution, but you'll probably end up having to buy a larger bottle, or when you run out, replacing it. On the upper tank, it has a max fill line on either side. So let's say for the cleaning solution, you fill it up to the line, or at least below it, depending on how much shampoo you plan on using. And the same thing goes for the water. So now let's demonstrate how to use it. So first off, release the cap on the side that you pour the solution into. I would say to fill up the solution tank anywhere from halfway to the max fill line. Depending on how large of a carpet area or how many different carpets you're going to be cleaning, you'll end up refilling it once all the solution runs out, which is fine. Then on the other side, which is the water tank, you remove the cap and fill up that side of the tank with preferably hot water. The water tank pops on and off real easily, and it's just got a little button that you press to release it. So you put the tank back on and set it on wash. When it comes to the clean settings on this, rather than quick clean, we're going to set it to deep clean. Now before plugging it into an electrical outlet and getting started, make sure that everything is cleared up off the floor that you don't want in the way, especially electronic things that you don't want to get wet. And it's suggested that you vacuum the floor first. So now that we're all set, we're going to start to actually run the shampoo setting and begin to shampoo the carpet. I personally like to step on the handle release so that it pivots back a little before turning the machine on. So as we start the machine, we want to squeeze the trigger and that releases the cleaning solution while you're running it. While shampooing it, it works really similar to a vacuum, how you move it on the floor. And it can pivot and turn and do all those things because it has these like circular brushes on the bottom. But the one thing is that you want to do it a little bit slower than you do when you're vacuuming so that it does a more thorough job of washing it. What you'll see right away is that the bottom tank is already filling up with shampoo and dirty water from out of the carpet because it's kind of vacuuming it at the same time as it's shampooing it. Once you cover the whole area that you plan on shampooing, you want to release the trigger and repeat the process, which is called the dry stroke. And that is to kind of dry and vacuum up as much of the shampoo that you had already kind of distributed across the whole area. I would go over that whole area without squeezing the trigger on the actual dry stroke so that it vacuums up as much as possible. And like I said, what you should see is the bottom tank filling up with a combination of dirty water and shampoo. So now the next step is to switch it from wash to the rinse setting. And now we want to kind of mimic or imitate the same process we just went through, but it's just using hot water. Just as I had mentioned before, you're going to want to do it on the rinse setting a lot more times than on the shampoo setting. For example, you may even want to rinse it about 5 times. But there's no real limit. The more times you rinse it, you'll notice that the bottom tank fills up with what looks like cleaner and cleaner water. So we're going to squeeze the trigger, and once we've gone over the whole area, then we want to release the trigger and go over the whole area on the dry stroke. Depending on how large the area is and how much water you have in the tank, either the water is all going to run out or the bottom tank is going to fill all the way up with dirty water. So what I would do is remove the bottom tank by releasing this hatch that it's got underneath, and then empty all the dirty water out, either into a toilet or wherever you plan on dumping it. I don't believe the bottom tank is going to fill up with anything that will clog a toilet bowl. It's just dirty water. So now after putting the bottom tank back on, I would check to see how much water is left in the upper tank, and before going all the way into fully vacuuming and drying it, I would repeat the rinse cycle at least like 4 or 5 times, like I had mentioned before. With a fully emptied tank, you'll be able to notice when less and less water is coming into the machine because it's got a clear tank, so you can see what's actually vacuuming into it. I would take an additional note that by the time it's as dry as it seems like it's going to get, there tends to be some moisture still left over, and it works best to do it on a hot day or run some fans and cross ventilation, that is with carpets, for an extra few hours. So if you're afraid of stepping on it and getting your feet or shoes wet and then stepping on another tile area and slipping out, I would highly suggest putting down some kind of throw rugs or placemat type things that you can step on for traction, and just warn anybody in the house that's accident prone. So that's all there really is to it. If you haven't already done it yet, hit the like and subscribe button and the notification bell. Thanks for watching.